Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with our guy, Austin Ward, and of course, Rhyme Time, Jacob Reimer. Behind the glass, A-Ward Sports. Happy Wednesday to you, my friend.
It's a beautiful Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's great to be back with you, and we're halfway to the Marysville Marathon.
We are closing in on it. Press release is out today off the desk of the commissioner. Getting the field quite riled up, aren't you?
That's my goal.
Yeah.
I feel like I accomplished it. I got the first 2 items on the list, the best bets. Immediately got responses. One included you.
Yeah, it did.
And how does that make you feel? Is that too much pressure to put on you?
Oh, there's no pressure on me. You know me. I don't get rattled.
Not afraid to be great?
No, I don't get rattled really by anything. I was just some guy here who lives in Columbus says that pressure is a privilege.
Uh-huh.
And I like when I'm pressured.
It makes diamonds.
To even be named on the list of one of these odds for the Marysville Marathon. Yeah,
Well, I didn't say you were going to win.
I'm privileged to have the pressure. No, it was another bet that I was the odds-on favorite at. I don't know if I was the favorite, but I had good.
You're an underdog, but yeah. I think I'm backing on you to win.
Yeah.
And if Paul Rupp is out there and listening to the sound of my voice and feels challenged by it, step up to the plate, man.
Come on, big dog. Yeah, we're halfway there. It'll be fun time on Saturday. Let me tell you what we're going to do this evening. The first hour of tonight's show is just going to be the JJ hour. We're just doing Jeremiah Smith stuff because we talked about it last night, Austin, in the 7 o'clock hour about Manny Navarro's article from The Athletic. He did make some news today. Jeremiah Smith did. We'll get into that in just a second. And then I've got a hypothetical I want you to think about, all right? So this is coming up around 6:45 this evening. With the amount of hype surrounding Jeremiah Smith, I just want you to go back, and whether you're a 20-year-old Buckeye fan, 30-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old, I want you to go back in your brain and just think if you can recall more hype for a single player heading into a season, more than what we've gotten with Jeremiah Smith. I have a few. I don't know if they reach this level. So we're going to do that at 6:45. That's coming up here. And then the 7 o'clock hour. I'm not telling you that you're going to like this story we get to in the College Football Pulse, but you need to be ready for something that's going to happen in college football. We also got a new transfer portal to go over. And then we'll try to answer your question of the day.
Oh,
Austin, with
okay.
Ohio State and Ryan Day winning a national championship, is it finally time to beat Michigan again?
well, I think it's time.
Yeah, it is time. So we'll do that at 7:30.
The way it was phrased to me was what the confidence level would be. And the way that I attacked it is that not all, let me rephrase that. He can coach with a different level of freedom, but we will get into that in the 7 o'clock hour, the question of the day, because it was a fun one.
Yeah, it is a fun one.
And I like it when we get some of these, like what's really on the mind of Ohio State fans, especially as we're getting closer. We're into July now.
Yeah, we're in camp month.
We're in camp month. Big Ten Media Days. We are 20 days away from Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Ryan Day talking out there in Las Vegas. And we've got Jeremiah Smith making news even before he gets out there, which I love.
Yeah,
it's a gift from the content gods.
Yes, thank you, content gods. Thank you, Manny Navarro, for writing that article with everything that was going on. Jeremiah did make some news today, Austin. Jeremiah Smith signing a NIL deal with the mega brand Adidas, which on the surface level, like, okay, good for him. That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's really cool. And then you start thinking to yourself, like, boy, Ohio State's one of the largest Nike schools in the country. Jeremiah Smith, though, has long been an Adidas guy. I know when DeVere sits in here on Wednesday, he always talks about this, how brands will get to kids, and generally those kids, if they go on to become collegiate athletes or if they go on to become professional athletes, will always have that brand loyalty from brands giving them stuff early on in their career, which I find that to be fascinating and probably the case that it was for Jeremiah Smith.
100% it was. If you don't know, Jeremiah Smith was playing 7-on-7 for the South Florida Express. They have become a pipeline that Brian Hartline has tapped into. South Florida Express is an Adidas 7-on-7 outfit. So it's not just that they may have, provided shoes, cleats, uniforms for that outfit, going back for years. But he will have had many, many games of experience wearing their gear, being comfortable in their gear, repping that gear. And I think, sometimes that does become, whether it's an officially, signed contract that you're going to give back or just building a relationship and familiarity with the people there, you tend to see those pay off. And you see, like, I think Berm said, like, Chris Henry Jr. is already in line
Adidas athlete.
to be an Adidas athlete.
Yeah.
Ohio State's got a few other wide receivers who've been wearing Adidas. It's a fascinating dynamic because
the dichotomy of it's pretty interesting.
Because it makes you feel like Nike needs to understand the situation. Ohio State is one of their most, you can't say the most lucrative, or at least not important to the Phil Knight portfolio.
I was looking up an article today, actually, looking at the brand values of teams, and they're way up the list. I think Alabama signed a deal with Nike back in 2019 or 2020. That was a big monster, and it's actually up this year. But the difference between Alabama and Ohio State signed a deal with Nike back in the late 2010s. I don't know if it was 2017, 18, or 19. It was a 15-year contract for like $240 million. Yeah. Georgia did that same exact thing a couple of years ago. But those are the obvious big dogs in the room when you're talking about Nike. You can look at Under Armour with the amount that they pay Notre Dame, or with the amount that they pay Maryland, with the Under Armour founder being from there. But yeah, I mean, it's all kinds of wacky and zany numbers, but it is one of the largest sport contracts that Ohio State athletics has. And
I wonder how this is going to shake out, what it means moving forward. Think back to, it's not a new dilemma. You go back to the 1992 U.S. Olympic Dream Team and Michael Jordan not wanting to wear the Reebok warm-ups out there for the gold medal, and he covered it up with the flag because he didn't want to risk or embarrass his primary sponsor in Nike. So, like, on game days, certainly my understanding that Jeremiah Smith or Chris Henry down the road or whoever else makes deals with other shoe sponsors that they're not going to be able to wear that gear to play in the game.
Yes, they will be.
You have to still wear the Nike stuff.
Nike.
But I wonder, how that will influence the thinking of, I don't know, Nike and how much they want to invest when they have these critical brands. Nike can't jeopardize losing Ohio State to Adidas or Under Armour or anybody else. I don't really believe that there's a world where Ohio State would want to leave. But they may have to come back to this situation and say, well, here, Jeremiah Smith, just for this example, let's say that there had been a negotiation post July 1, post House settlement, where Ohio State is then able to represent in a situation where the money's going, talking NIL Go, talking with the, whatever, that group of investors that they have, that are advisors that they have that can talk to the players and make deals and say, hey, Nike, you're pretty important to us, and we're the number one brand in college football. Our television ratings are off the chart. Jeremiah's got this on the table from Adidas. We'd love for you to consider donating here or working directly with Jeremiah. And, maybe the amount of money doesn't even matter because JJ's getting it from so many different places.
Yeah.
But I wonder if some of these conversations will start to occur. Now, they're going to be rare. They're isolated. The level of fame that JJ has, or a starting quarterback, or Caleb Downs, there aren't that many guys who are going to command 7-figure endorsement deals on their own. So it's not
themselves.
It's not something that it has to be a primary concern. It's not something that I'm talking about is a worry for recruiting athletes, or if South Florida Express guys want to always be Adidas, can they still go to Ohio State? Yeah, I mean, that part is all going to be worked out, but it's another element that is a thread that's been pulled that we have to keep following.
Shout out to the YouTube chat. Thanks for watching. You can always go there. Dan says, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Nike athletes signed with Rutgers. They wore Nikes all year long during games. I don't know the dichotomy and the difference between what college basketball rules and what college football rules are for equipment. I don't know how that works. Because in the NFL, you got Under Armour athletes, you got Adidas athletes, you got Nike athletes. The only thing that they can control what they wear are their cleats. Yeah. So I don't know how that works out on the football field compared to the college basketball court. I don't know.
I remember this coming up with the last time was the previous superstar wide receiver at Ohio State. And Marv had on what did he put on? Like Louis Vuitton cleats or the logo.
Remember that.
The logo was obstructing the swoosh, and like Marv had to go change. You can't. Sorry, bud. That Nike deal is pretty ironclad, and I don't think that there are exceptions carved out for Heisman Trophy finalist wide receivers. Everybody's got to play by those same rules.
Odell Beckham was wearing a Richard Mille watch as well. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know how that works in the future, but JJ, big contract, I'm sure, with Adidas that was announced earlier today. More into the Jeremiah Smith comments from yesterday and his absolute disdain for the team up north. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU football insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens at your latest forecast. We're looking at temperatures that'll drop their way into the 60s this evening and into tonight. Mostly clear and light winds. We'll see a temperature near 90 Thursday, mostly sunny. Afternoon chance for an isolated pop-up or shower. As we head into Thursday night, though, all of that gone before red, white, and boom. Temperatures still down into the 60s overnight. 90 for the 4th with another pop-up chance. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
All Buckeyes, all the time. You are listening to The Buckeye Show.
Would you consider the halftime act, the icon Red Panda, to be a Buckeye? Honorary Buckeye?
She's got red right there in the name.
Yeah, she does. I'm not sure if she's a Nike athlete, but I think she's an honorary Buckeye. I didn't see that she got injured last night.
Oh, yeah, my night was ruined.
Yeah, so she suffered a severe left wrist fracture in the fall. Told the accident was due to the left paddle of her unicycle being damaged in transit. She spent 11 hours in the hospital. She's now on her way home and will meet with an orthopedic surgeon for further repair. She's an icon.
Rhyme time, do you always know what game Red Panda is going to be at? Like, influence your picks and your gambling?
All right, where's Red Panda at tonight?
God, I know how deep it goes.
I don't, but I feel like I need to do that now.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Why doesn't someone just travel around the country going to every event that Red Panda does throughout a year and just chronicle the entire experience? The Panda Tracker.
You know how there's those like golfers trackers, like Scotty Scheffler tracker, Rory tracker.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a Red Panda tracker?
I agree with that. Come on, somebody's
got to get on that. I don't know how long she's going to be on the shelf.
She's definitely on the IL.
To watch.
There it is. I mean, basketball season starts in 2 months. What was she doing at the Commissioner's Cup anyway?
I don't know.
She's too good for that.
She is. The real commissioner's sitting right here.
Amen, brother.
This comeback is going to be unbelievable. One of the greatest stories.
The revenge tour.
Yes.
Minor setback for a major comeback. Speedy recoveries to her, in all seriousness. Getting back into the Jeremiah Smith story from Manny Navarro that came out yesterday on The Athletic. We talked a lot about Julian Sand last night in the comments that were made from Jeremiah Smith talking about perhaps maybe the future quarterback, number one here at Ohio State.
Manny Navarro thinks so.
Yeah, he did. This is what Jeremiah Smith said about Julian Sand. Arm is different. He can make any and every throw, just a smart quarterback. Like me, he's a little bit quiet, but he's starting to come out of his shell. He's definitely going to be a guy. It's scary for opponents. You can go back and listen to the podcast. It was around 7:15, 7:30, I think, were the two segments we did that last night. You can always go back to the podcast and listen to that. Had a nice breakdown. What does that mean? Does that mean Julian Sand has the edge in the quarterback competition right now? Or you can go back and watch the YouTube show. We did not get into this part of the story, Austin, which was making its way all around social media, and the fact of his disdain for the University of Michigan. Now, this one went everywhere around social media, like triple platinum. Michigan fans, see ya at the end of November. Ohio State fans, rent's coming due. You know, this great college football smack talk here in the middle of July. Here's how we got into this quote from Jeremiah Smith. So Ohio State's 2024 season was a roller coaster. The regular season ended with a deflating fourth consecutive loss to rival Michigan. But the Buckeyes and Smith followed it up with a magical run through the expanded college football playoff, crushing Tennessee and Oregon before crossing the finish line with the victories over Texas and Notre Dame. Smith tweaked his hip flexor in the win over Tennessee, but responded the following week with his best game against Oregon, where he put up 7 catches, 187 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Also that week, if you're going to play man coverage, have fun.
Too bad he wasn't fully healthy for that one.
Yeah, that could have been really something. Despite winning the title, Smith has not gotten over the loss to Michigan. I'm not a sore loser, but I hate losing. And losing to that team up north was pretty crazy. In the end, I think it really helped us play the way we did in the playoffs. But I didn't want to go to Ohio State and lose to that team up north. I just hate them. It's just something about them. For the next 2 years, I promise you, I will not lose to them. I can't lose to them the next 2 years. That's a big comment.
We're going to get to the end, the last 2 sentences there, later on in the JJ hour. But the rest of it, I really appreciate the way he phrased it.
Yeah.
He did not make excuses for the loss. He did not say it was a fluke. He did not say they were going to take a sledgehammer to an ant like Ryan Williams did to Vanderbilt or make excuses for what happened. And no, I haven't heard anybody do that. They could. Ohio State players could say, well, missed 2 field goals. No one will be talking about it. Maybe if Will Howard knew how many fingers I was holding up in the second half, the game would have been different. Like, there are things that they could talk about in that game.
It was windy.
Yeah, the wind was the problem for sure. Like, but
we were kicking the opposite end of the wind.
Yeah,
kicking into the wind.
Yeah. Again, you can make up whatever excuse you want. And I'm not saying any of this to justify what happened. And that's the point. Jeremiah Smith's not doing that either. He didn't say Michigan didn't deserve to win or take it away or they're going to correct history. That's not the way he's talking about it. He said, I'm not a sore loser. I hate to lose. This is what I'm going to do to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And you can say that the promise is, a guarantee of victory this year and next year. That's fine. He's also talking about all the work that he's doing and how last year was not good enough for him and how he's raising the bar. And if he has found motivation based purely off of the game, that's not uncommon for an Ohio State player. It's not unusual to be talking about that in the offseason either. That's why they've always had team up north periods in summer workouts and spring camp and
winter workouts
and mat drills.
Every day that they're over there at the Woody, there's some period that is dedicated to that.
So all of that is not new. But if that is serving as a way to fight off any complacency of being a national champion, which I've not sensed any of that with JJ or Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles or Caden Curry or anybody. I think this has been a really impressive offseason to date. Now, they still have to get to the end of the month. They have to get into training camp on the 31st. They have to, get ready for that opener. There's a lot of work that's still to be done, and you have to win that fight every single day. But if that's what's driving Jeremiah, and if people are feeling like he somehow slighted the Wolverines with that comment, I don't get that at all.
For the next 2 years, I promise you, I will not lose to them. I just can't lose to them the next 2 years. I was talking to Mike Bennett about this last night. I said, hey, did you see Jeremiah Smith's comments about Michigan? He goes, no. What'd he say? I said, basically, he hates him, won't lose to him the next 2 years. He goes, I'll buy that man a drink. He said, I'm going to buy that man a drink. That's exactly what
he doesn't need Mike Bennett's money.
No, he doesn't. He's probably good. He could buy he could buy all of us all the drinks, and we would be just fine.
Mike got a private chef in his house.
I love that comment. That's exactly what he should be saying.
I don't find anything wrong with it. And I've said this before. You and me and Reimer have had these conversations about the summer, and I don't want anyone in college football to lose their personality, to not speak their mind. But I just feel like when you contrast it specifically with Ryan Williams and the way that he talked about Vanderbilt, or any...
Hold on. Let's put it just for a second. Alabama and Vanderbilt is not the same thing as Ohio State and Michigan.
100%. But when they talked about that game, it was like, well, that should have never happened and won't ever happen again. Like, give credit to the team that beat you.
Mm-hmm.
He is still treating them like little sisters of the poor. Called them an ant. They won the game.
You're going to smash with a hammer.
They won the game.
Yes, they did.
Okay, so I understand that Alabama and Vandy are not the same thing as the greatest rivalry in sport. I'm not trying to treat it the same way. I'm talking about the way that these comments came out specifically. And anyone can maintain the personality, the confidence, the edge, the swagger, however you want to talk about it, please do. Sports would be pretty boring if everyone had to just talk like Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
So I want them to do that. But I just think if you're going to look at the two, and if there's Michigan fans that are trying to dunk on this quote,
there was plenty. There were plenty.
And they were. And, like, they won the game, but it's not.
They did. They've won 4 straight.
Jeremiah did not say that should have never happened. I can't believe it happened. He didn't say, well, the ones in before, like, what about the signals, and what about cheating, and what about missed field goals? Like, they didn't do anything. He took accountability. They lost the game. Going to fix it. And it's not going to happen in the next 2 years.
So quit asking.
Quit asking about it, all right? All right?
I slammed the Coke bottle down on my presser table.
I just think that that's important. Because, as you said, once it goes triple platinum and everybody is spinning it however they want, yeah, he promised, he guaranteed that he's going to go out there and do everything possible to win the game.
For the next 2 years, I promise you, I will not lose to them.
So, I don't want anyone to ever stop standing on business, 10 toes down, guaranteeing victory. I love it when that happens. And if anybody should be confident that they can do it, it's Jeremiah Smith. Like, hands down. You'd be more concerned if you are in Columbus and he said, I don't know what happened.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game.
It was a fun game. I learned a lot about the rivalry. We're going to turn. No, you are Jeremiah Smith. You are the face of college football, and you are the face of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's exactly what he should be saying. But I like the way that he did it, which is that he did not make excuses for the loss. And if anybody could have pointed to the other things, it's that same person.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
He could have done that.
He didn't. So why? I get it. They have bragging rights in Ann Arbor. They should still be enjoying it. I think if you asked most honest Michigan fans if what happened in that game was a fluke, they would say yes. Everybody else saw it. But that's not the way Ohio State has treated it. They just want to correct it.
While we're on the topic of Jeremiah Smith, we're going to try to figure out what planet he's from in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Are we drinking the scarlet and gray Kool-Aid? You bet we are. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Our guy Austin Ward in tonight. Murph Dog, Patrick Murphy, he's going to be in with us tomorrow. Reading this on Wikipedia, there are an estimated 100 billion galaxies in all of observable universe. On the order of 100,000 galaxies make up the local supercluster, and about 51 galaxies are in the local group. Mm-hmm. None of that makes any sense to me.
What does that mean?
Other than the numbers. 100 billion galaxies in all of the observable universe. The first attempts at systematic catalogs of galaxies were made in the 1960s. I don't know, again, what any of this means, but we have the Milky Way galaxy. We live in the Milky Way galaxy.
Milky Way number one.
Yeah, it's the best. That's what they always say. Andromeda's a close two. We live in the Milky Way galaxy. I am pretty certain that Jeremiah Smith is not from the Milky Way galaxy.
Doesn't seem like it.
I don't think he's from here. I really don't.
Where do you think it is? There's 100 billion options out there.
There's too many. Maybe the Whirlpool Galaxy or NGC 1300.
Oh.
Yeah.
They are a big-time powerhouse on the rise in college football.
You got to watch out for NGC 1300. Just signed a monster contract with Nike, too.
Well, so if Phil Knight would stop funneling money to NGC 1300, it would level the playing field.
So I was reading this again from the article that Manny Navarro wrote in The Athletic, and my eyeballs about popped out of my skull when I read this. He likes to keep himself, but when he does go out, Smith drives his Mercedes AMG GLE around town. Speaking of NG 1300, AMG GLE, I don't know. We're just naming numbers.
None of this is real.
No. For the most part, though, Smith said he plays video games on his PS5 when he isn't studying, training, or practicing. His focus is always on the future. I changed my eating habits, just eating healthy food, salmon, rice, vegetables. I'm at 225 pounds now. I was at 205 or 208 when I got there. Body fat, I think I'm second lowest on the team. I just did 20 reps of 225 on the bench and ran 22 miles per hour in a game. I don't know, man. He's a freak show. And rarely, Austin, and you've covered football for a long time, and you got to cover, Tennessee, and you got to cover all kinds of different sports when you were up in Wyoming, and you've been here in Columbus for, 13, 14 years now? Yeah. When you have a freak of nature athlete who also is freak of nature work ethic guy, it combines into the supernova that we are seeing with Jeremiah Smith.
I'm going to preface this by saying, with all due respect to Marvin Harrison Jr.,
because he was an all-world weight room
one of the best
grinder.
One of the best workers and one of the most prolific wide receivers that I have ever covered.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable saying this because of what he said to me. And I guess I'm a broken record because virtually every Buckeye show since February, I have repeated the same story about, or at least the same quote about Marv calling JJ the LeBron James of football, not just college football.
And that was Marvin Harrison Jr.
That was Marvin Harrison Jr. So, but the reason that I preface it with that, and at least I got that stamp of approval from Marv because I said, but you're that good. Because I said, I had this conversation with him. And now you put it in a different context, which is covering Marvin Harrison Jr.'s recruitment. I know for certain Ohio State viewed him and Bo Collins on roughly the same plane. This was not a deal where Ohio State was like, this is the must-win recruitment. Got to have Marv, even with the genetics, even with Senior being a Hall of Famer, even with the relationship with Kyle McCord. It wasn't like you have to get Marv. This is a recruitment that has to win. They wanted
a nice guy to have.
They were fine. They were ecstatic to win it. But if they got one or the other of him or Bo Collins, they were fine. And we saw how it worked out from there. This is not a knock on Bo Collins or a knock on Marv. But the point was that there was not this slam dunk nature, even at Ohio State, that Marv was going to become what he became. Marv built himself into that with a work ethic that is one of the most relentless that you're ever going to see. The stuff with the Monarch, the stuff with, the thousands of footballs that he was catching, whether it was on his own, whether it was with the machine, whether it was with teammates, I had never really seen anything like it. And the fact that Jeremiah Smith is matching what you saw from Marv with a perhaps physical head start.
Well, yeah, Ryan Day almost fainted when Jeremiah Smith committed to Ohio State during that press conference.
Thank goodness he had a grip on the side of that podium so it didn't fall fully on his face when the knees buckled. But everyone has seen the raw potential in the athleticism and the size and speed and strength that Jeremiah Smith has had since he was, 8 years old. This was always...
After he got cut from his football team.
Right. This was always the expectation.
Yes, there is a similarity to Michael Jordan. Not LeBron. I don't think LeBron ever probably got cut in his life, but
I don't think he did.
Yeah. But MJ did, though, famously.
And then he responded. In this situation, MJ is Marvin Harrison Jr. and LeBron is Jeremiah Smith because LeBron did not waste any part of his genetic gifts.
No.
He maximized them to the full potential. Jeremiah Smith is doing the exact same thing. And if you're out there just thinking, well, this is nothing but hyperbole, like I understand. I get it. But when you watch this person work up close, you can see on Saturday how special he is. Those Tennessee fans that I was talking to last week that came to the game, they said the same thing, and they watched him for one game.
Like, boy, that was pretty spectacular. Let's tune them on again. See what happens.
Said, yeah, and this guy, he's a college football aficionado. He's a diehard Tennessee fan. He said the second that he saw Jeremiah Smith, he said, I've never seen anybody like him before. This is one game, one opportunity in the freezing cold.
Saw him in real life and said, wow.
Yeah, and, maybe that's hyperbole from the Tennessee fans based on what they saw that night. I don't know. But it feels like there is no level of hyperbole that's too much for Jeremiah Smith, which is why we're having a full JJ hour right now.
The Jeremiah hour. He also said this, which also was a pretty great comment by Jeremiah Smith. Smith's major at Ohio State sports industry, plans on getting into coaching when his playing career is over, but he's planning on that being a long time from now. Here's what Jeremiah had to say. He said, I still have a lot of work to do. I've got 2-3 more years left of college. I've still got to go to the pros, hopefully by the grace of God. I've just got to keep it going. Just because I had one great year, I can't get comfortable and depend on that. I want to do this year in, year out. It's that mentality. It's that mentality and exactly what you were just talking about, Austin, that gets you to be to the level that he is currently at.
And he knows because of the people that he's surrounded with, whether that's Geno Smith or the rest of that, he has a good team of support around him, Brian Hartline included. The rest of the high-achieving Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate. Like, it helps to have all of that around him. It motivates him. It pushes him. And I'm not saying that he needs that. He's incredibly driven. Always has been, based on my experiences around him now for whatever it is, 4 years. Like, I don't think that that's ever going to be a problem for him. But that still doesn't mean it's not impressive to see it. Yeah. Lots of people have impressive physical gifts, maybe not to his level, and they naturally dominate at whatever level that they're at. Then they reach a point where it's like, okay, well, you want to be the best of the best. You want to be a Hall of Famer. You want to be a first-round draft pick. It does take a little bit more. There are other people who have your level, your ball skills, your hand-eye coordination, your speed.
Yeah, there are other guys out there.
Others out there. I don't know what other galaxies we can name, but there's going to be more coming. I called Jeremiah a one of one.
How about the tadpole galaxy?
The tadpole, or
Hoag's object.
I think it's tadpole
too.
The young frogs out there, they're building something special too. They've got a nice little recruiting pond that they're working on in the tadpole galaxy. And they're coming for Jeremiah Smith.
The name comes from a resemblance of the galaxy to a tadpole. The shape resulted from tidal interaction that drew out a long tidal tail. Yeah. It's a nice-looking galaxy.
And they use those tails. They're actually working on cornerbacks out there. They're going to get
How about the topsy-turvy galaxy? That's right below tadpole galaxy on this wiki page.
Oh, okay. The Waikiki-Padaya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Lee-Tech?
The point is, JJ is good, but he's not coasting on that part. And I think, and look, anyone can say whatever they want. Talk about the work ethic, talk about how you're going to build on last year, that every day is a battle. Everything he's done has validated that so far. The point that he is making himself is that it doesn't guarantee him anything tomorrow or on July 31st or against Texas to start the season. He is still just going into year 2 of major college football. Even when we're talking about him and what the future could look like and how high the limit is for him, the potential that is off the charts, you still have to go out and actually do that. I've never seen a day where he didn't.
He was asked about winning the Heisman as well because he comes into the season highest non-quarterback in college football with the highest odds to win the Heisman. He said, I'm just trying to win another natty. That's what I'm focused on. All the other individual accolades will come after that. It's about as good of an answer as you can get.
Yeah, I hope he writes that down on a business card and prints out 1,000 of them to hand out at Big Ten Media Days. Because
he will be asked about that 1,000 times.
Going to be asked about the Heisman in every room he goes to, in every interview that he has.
Will that be more of a question for him or what his NIL dollar amount is?
Well, first they're going to ask him what the NIL dollar amount is, and then the next question is, will you win the Heisman? Or how many Heismans are you going to win? Since you might be in college for 2 or 3 years.
I mean, I'll just say that, and I said this to Reimer when I was reading this article yesterday, sign me up. You can sign me up for 3 more years. I'm in. I would be locked in.
Who says no?
Nobody. I'm locked in for that.
Brian Hartline,
Jeremiah, if you want to have 3 more years at Ohio State, please, you're more than welcome to stay.
So no, Hartline's like, that's gonna create too much of a log jam on the depth chart here.
Yeah, and in the recruiting profile.
Got other 5 stars here. You're ready, JJ. Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I don't think it is.
Unless there's another one from another galaxy we don't know about.
I think you're probably right.
That plays for the South Florida Express.
Well, I'd like to know how the South Florida Express has been recruiting whatever galaxy that is.
Yeah.
That's a great relationship to have cultivated.
Time travel, I think, is how they are able to get that done.
We've really unraveled this.
Molecular physics, I think, is the key
you need to get off
space
Wiki.
travel.
You got to get off the Wiki.
I'm reading way too many big words.
You went
here.
down a wormhole into wormholes.
Yeah, I did. I'm basically McConaughey right now. That's what I'm doing. In the wormhole tapping. Murph, JJ, 3 more years. You can stay. Hey,
get me out of here.
Are you ready for the 4th of July? I'm going to be enjoying steaks, ribs, beverage or two. But guess what? It's the same tasty stuff I enjoyed while dropping 75 pounds with the Weekend 180. That's the beauty of the program. It is doable. No meds, no starvation, just great food while I dropped an average of 4 to 5 pounds every week. Make the summer your best yet. Drop the weight while keeping the flavor. Celebrate freedom from dieting stress. You can visit them online at awaken180weightloss.com. To wrap up the Jeremiah Smith Hour, I asked you this hypothetical earlier on in the program. I want us to put our thinking caps on. What was the most preseason hype for a Buckeye heading into a season? We're going to try to answer that next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. Give Bath R Us a ring. Call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
The cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was years to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hey, we are on The Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. Those mountains are blue. You know, those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. Mountains aren't blue on the ones in front of us, but put those bad boys in the refrigerator for about a half an hour, you're going to be good to go.
Half an hour is all it takes for you?
Yeah. I'll drink a warm beer. I don't care. It's not my preferred drinking method. I would like it to be ice cold, but...
Cold as the Rockies.
Yeah.
That needs a full hour.
Yeah. JJ hour.
Full hour.
By the time you listen to the JJ hour, you do another of that, and then they'll be...
Pick up your 24-pack.
Ice cold.
Fire up the YouTube channel. Whatever you missed from the JJ hour, just watch it in the entirety.
Yep.
Then go back to the fridge.
You're going to be fine.
You're good to go.
Or an ice bucket or a cooler.
Especially on the 4th of July weekend.
Is there anything better than pulling a ice cold Coors Light out of a nice cooler with a little bit of ice residue on it? It's one of life's great feelings.
Well, if it's the cooler in the back of your golf cart.
Yeah, that's an even better one. I'm saying really any cooler. If you're on some sort of fishing trip or dude's weekend, you're out camping.
You asked if there was anything better, and I said, yeah, this is better out of the golf cart. Don't try and switch up on me now.
I'm just saying the act of pulling one out of the cooler, whatever the setting may be, it's a great feeling.
It is great.
Why are you yelling at me?
I don't know. I'm just on edge, man.
You're testy this week. The marathon's getting to you.
I'm sorry. I'm rattled.
From the desk of the commissioner. Are you going to be all right on Saturday?
No.
I feel like once you get on the golf course, you'll be all right.
I don't know. I never
How's
am.
the field coming along?
It's surplus.
We have 17 now.
I've never had this problem. Went from needing 2 yesterday, stumble on 1 at Shark's.
Shark's great son-in-law. His name's Jake.
Yeah. And he was awesome. He was fired up to play. Great. Didn't expect this one to fall out of the sky into our laps. And then my buddy Brandon, he's like, I got one. I got him on the hook. Should I take the commitment? And that's when I'm leaving. I think maybe they were listening to the show. It's like, I got to play. And I know Brandon Pavel. I'm getting on the hook. So it's like 8:05. I'm in the parking lot. He's like, I got one on the hook. I'm like, take the commitment. And then you text me.
Your other friend, Brandon.
I didn't let you know. Other Brandon, Beamer. Nobody knows you as Brandon over there. You're like, I got Berm and Beamer. I don't know your first names. So don't worry about that.
I don't have one.
And
made up.
You send me the text. Like, I got another one.
What time was that last night? Like 9:45?
It was later.
Was it like 10:30?
Oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, no. So I got him. He's coming. That's 17.
Oh, we're in a pickle.
Great. So, of course, I let everyone know this morning, hey, we're 1 over right now. I'll worry about that problem on Friday. Well, maybe sometimes, life finds a way.
And usually we're a man down by the time we get to Saturday morning.
It's almost certain that by Friday, someone else will be like, nah, I can't do it. One time we had an individual drop out at like 12:30 or 12:30 a.m.
Oh, I remember that.
7 hours before the tee time because he was too drunk. I'm not going to go play. Great, buddy. Why did we take your commitment?
Thanks a lot.
What are you doing?
Does your word mean nothing?
Your word is your bond, especially when it comes to the Marysville Marathon and playing at the Ridge Golf and Gardens. But anyway.
You're going to be just fine. We're going to make it.
I'm stressed out. And you talked about Tony Petiti all last night. It's like the guys were listening to the show. They're like, I know what I'm going to talk about on Saturday on the course.
Tony Petiti, get him rattled. It's like Berm with NIL and you and Tony Petiti. Those are your two jumping off points.
I'm going to be standing over the tee shot on 17, my nemesis hole at the Ridge, and
just shaking in your
They're
boots.
just going to go, hey, what do you think about AQ status for the Big Ten?
What do you think about the 4.4221 model?
Hey, what do you think about sticking with 9 conference games in the Big Ten.
We had 17 commitments. Why don't we just do a 17-team playoff?
Yeah, 17's perfect because then you can have 3 teams get a bye. I'm going to be. I have been on edge. I'm sorry.
I know. You've been a little angsty, buddy.
I know.
You need to calm me down somehow. I need to reach into this bucket and grab you a Coors Light.
Dip into the bucket.
Yeah, I think you might have to. Just everything will be fine, all right?
And Allie said, okay. I said, are we going to sip, counterbalance, excuse me, tomorrow night?
I'm already upset about that, the name change.
And I'm worked up over that. But then Liberty just comes in and mocks me. She's going to the pool with Mimi, and she said, and then Mommy and I are going to sip. I'm like, tomorrow? Nope, tonight. What? I'm on the radio. Well, maybe we'll be there.
This was earlier today?
Yes.
Oh, so you just had it awful.
So I'm just like, I'm sorry, man. You're just bearing the brunt of this.
It's okay. I can take it. I can take it just fine.
All right.
Let's continue the JJ hour, shall we?
Sorry I disrupted it.
That's okay.
With my personal demons.
No, just keep it coming, man. Get it out of you.
All right.
It's like venom. You got to just spit it out. Just relax. You'll be all right.
Okay.
All right. We'll work our way through it. I asked this question to everybody out there. Has there been a Buckeye heading into a season that has had more hype than Jeremiah Smith currently has? I've talked about Braxton Miller in 2014. He was loading up for a massive Heisman campaign. He ultimately won the national championship. I don't need to do that anymore. The Braxton hype in 2014 was rather large.
Yep.
Right? I mean, he was multiple-time Silver Football Award winner, Conference Player of the Year. It had everything that you needed. Loss in 2013 to Michigan State. Had everything you wanted right there. And then I also got to thinking about, if COVID didn't happen, what would we have done for Justin Fields in 2020? Because that would have been coming off of that Clemson loss,
Asterisk.
off of the Clemson screw job.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. If COVID didn't happen and everything was normal, I don't want to get into the postponement of the season and Justin Fields basically saving football in the Big Ten.
Yep.
That's for another show. It's for the Justin Fields hour. I think in 2020, that would have been matching the Jeremiah Smith hype that we're getting this year.
Yeah. And it's criminal that we were robbed of what a full Justin Fields season would have looked like in 2020, in my opinion.
I agree.
But that would have been off the charts, and I think the numbers that year for him would have been bonkers, and that Heisman run would have been something. But even still, I don't know that it would have matched what JJ has right now. It may not have even got to the level of Braxton 14. The only other options that I could come up with, and you gave me 24 hours to think about the 13 seasons that I've covered this team. Like Nick Bosa had quite a lot going into 18, and then that made it sting even more when he dealt with the abdominal injury. Chase Young was close to that. And I don't think there's anything that is remotely on the level of Jeremiah Smith right now. And that's really saying something when you look at the All-Americans and the Heisman Trophy finalists, and Dwayne Haskins had a full summer coming off the bench to beat Michigan the year before, replacing JT, and then edging out Joe Burrow leaving. There was a lot of hype, but it wasn't proven yet at that point for him. So Braxton has got to be second, at least from my time covering the team.
Terrell Pryor was pretty. The hype train was pretty large surrounding Terrell Pryor.
He was a supernova because of his recruitment and being, at the time, the highest rated recruit that Ohio State had ever landed, and everything that went along with his athleticism and
totally.
But that's just to say that you look at the last 15 years and this long run of superstars, including Marvin Harrison Jr., and there isn't anything like it. Cardale even, I actually think that maybe that's the closest in terms of national celebrity, but that's not like actual.
He had a press conference to announce that he was coming back. And I remember that like it was yesterday.
And he had over.
Who's going to be the starter? JT's here. Cardale's still here. Look at what he did against this 3-game run into the championship. Yeah, that was.
But even after the first tweet, he had over 1 million followers. I think he was one of the most followed athletes in sports at that time, certainly in college football. And he was using it to chase after Ronda Rousey and sending thirsty tweets out to her. And 1 million people were following all that stuff. He had that level of celebrity But nobody was like, well, Cardale's a Heisman Trophy finalist. Or like that didn't exist for him.
No. They didn't know who was going to start that year.
No.
Up until kickoff against Virginia Tech that year.
12, you're out there.
That was wild. That was one of the more wild situations that we've seen. Not great.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds right.
If memory serves me correct, I don't think that worked out fantastically.
Should they not have done that?
Probably not.
Was that wrong?
I'm not telling you that you have to like the story that we're going to get into next, but we're just going to have to accept it. We'll get into that in the College Football Pulse next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining healthcare.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
What is dippable and dunkable? And now at Donato's, it's Donato's new chicken dippers. Flavorful boneless chicken breast tenders served up with 7 amazing dipping sauce options, including new garlic parmesan and sweet chili. For a limited time, try new chicken dippers for just $5 on the $5 Pizza Pals menu. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Jacob Reimer. The Cincinnati Reds fell to the Boston Red Sox this afternoon 5-3 in a game they were finishing up from last night that was postponed due to rain. They wrap up the series at Fenway Park with the regularly scheduled game tonight. First pitch is here at 7:10. Cincinnati will try to avoid getting swept with Nick Martinez getting the start in Game 2 of today. The Cleveland Guardians continue their series with the Cubs tonight at Wrigley Field. The Guardians look to put an end to their 5-game losing streak with Tanner Bybee on the mound. They get things started shortly after 8 o'clock. The Lakers have their big man. They've signed DeAndre Ayton to a 2-year deal. Between Portland and Los Angeles, Ayton will earn $34 million next season. And the New York Knicks are expected to name Mike Brown as their next head coach, a 2-time Coach of the Year that was previously coached for the Cavs, Lakers, and most recently the Sacramento Kings. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's time for the College football pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Part 2 for us here on a Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's having an awesome evening. Got Austin Ward in. Reimer, you had a couple of guys who you wanted to mention as well before we get to some stories in the pulse about leading into seasons with it being very much preseason hype.
Yeah, it felt like the JSN year after his Rose Bowl performance.
Yeah, it was
also robbed of that full potential.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I felt like he could have really gotten to some records as a wide receiver at Ohio State.
Certainly.
After a 1,000-yard season, too, with that massive trio that they had.
After a 1,000-yard Rose Bowl.
Basically.
Yeah, right. It's just when you that was the string of all these guys, not all of them, unfortunately too many of them. Braxton getting injured before 14.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bosa going down, really essentially hurt the whole time before sitting out the rest of the year with the abdominal injury. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have Justin Fields. That wasn't an injury situation, but it was an illness around, the entire world.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, so that happened at least 4 times. That's why there was this sense for Ohio State fans that they were being cheated and that the world was against them. They were being robbed of greatness in front of their very eyes.
Michigan canceled the game, and then the world turned upside down from that point. The last 5 games of JSN's season in 2021, I don't know if the last time that you've looked at this, 26-17 victory at Nebraska.
He went bonkers right off the first drive of the game.
15 catches for 240 and a touchdown. 59-31 victory over Purdue. 9 catches, 139 yards and a touchdown. 56-7 slaughter of Michigan State. That I think was 45-0 at halftime.
The Mel Tucker contract game.
Yeah, 10 catches, 105 yards and a touchdown. 42-27 loss up in Ann Arbor to Michigan. 11 for 127. You go to the Rose Bowl, and all he does is put in 15 catches for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he did fumble.
Yeah, how could I forget? That's one of the great fun games in Ohio State history because it didn't really mean anything. You know, I mean, you're out of the Rose Bowl, you miss out on the playoffs, but you just have an old Big 12 shootout is what that game was. It was awesome. I need to go back and just rewatch that game.
Just search JSN highlights from the Rose Bowl. That's really all it was.
It was difficult to cover because it was a video game.
Yeah.
It was insane. And they still had a bunch of restrictions downtown in LA, and I was there by myself. So
214 yards for Cam Rising throwing the ball. 226 yards rushing for Utah.
There's another crazy stat on there that you're not even mentioning for Ohio State.
CJ Stroud?
No, well,
what his numbers
okay,
were?
not just CJ.
37 for 46, 573, 6 touchdowns.
How about the other receiver?
Marv?
He had a hat trick.
He did have a hat trick on 6 catches.
Guy had 1 catch going into the game. He's like, watch this. 3 tutties. Hello.
I might just rewatch that game tonight. Nothing else going on tonight. You know, it's a nice little calm Wednesday. I just go back and rewatch the 2021 Rose Bowl game. Just sit down and have fun.
I can't believe it didn't work out for Utah to play a running back in coverage against Jackson.
It seems like a bad idea.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It worked for a majority of the game. Well, not really. I guess
I don't
not on
know
defense.
about that.
Not on defense, it didn't. But offensively, they were just crushing that defense.
Yeah, you had that game was so. Think about all the crazy, unusual things. Like Cade Stover moved back over to play linebacker.
Oh my God, he did. And then in the offseason, he moved back to play tight end.
You're gonna play linebacker again next year? Yeah, I feel like I'm a linebacker. I love linebacker. 1 week into spring ball. Nope, sorry, sir. You're going to tight end.
It was a good move, too, because he was really
Worked out great, didn't it?
Yeah. Now he's down with CJ in Houston, having a fantastic time.
That game
Stover Farms, get your meats from there.
Bizarre. Because then you show up, we land in L.A., and it's like Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave aren't going to play. Like, no. You don't get to watch them one more time. How dare they opt out?
And then you have Jackson, Marv, Emeka.
Just turned out okay.
Yeah, turned out just fine. Reimer, what's up, buddy? What you got for us tonight?
So this is still pending NCAA approval, but LSU has announced that they plan to sell jersey patch advertisements. With the ever-growing world of NIL and the transfer portal, could we see this down the line at Ohio State or other college football programs?
You want the long answer or the short answer on this?
We're about to get some angsty beam now, not just me.
Short answer, yes. Long answer, I can't believe that nobody has tried this already. You've seen field sponsorships. You've seen all kinds of different stuff. Stadium naming rights has been a thing for forever. The NFL waded into these waters a couple of years ago. You and I like to watch a little round ball get kicked around a soccer pitch, Austin.
Yep, sure do.
I mean, you go over to Europe or you look at you go to Mexico and you look at Liga MX teams, like that's all the jerseys are.
You don't even know what team they are.
Now, luckily, the Crew, like you just have the big nationwide block right there, but this has been a thing for forever. The NBA started it a few years ago. I literally, when I read this story today, that LSU is trying this, I'm like, boy, that makes all the sense in the world to me. I'm not telling that you have to like it, again, but this is a surefire way to bring in an additional revenue stream for whatever, name your large corporate sponsor, to be right on the other side of the Nike patch.
Yeah.
For Ohio State or LSU or whichever team that you like. I can't believe it already hasn't been tried.
No doubt. Because it's not new that universities and athletic departments have been trying to find more money. You're absolutely right. It feels like it should have happened 20 years ago. Would have happened 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the sanctity of the student athlete uniform.
It's gone. That's gone. That's dead.
I know.
It's gone. It's dead.
But they were pretending that with the jersey and not capitalizing on the person wearing it.
Yes.
Meanwhile, they're playing on a field.
But the funny thing is about jerseys, and you already have a corporate logo on there as the supplier of the shirt. That is, the Nike swoosh is already a corporate logo. That's what it is. It just looks good because that's who's outfitting the brand in Ohio State.
Maybe it's Nike that didn't want college football jerseys to be sponsored.
Maybe it's Big Swoosh.
Big Swoosh is always out there trying to do something.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to happen.
100%.
If it happens this year, I'm not sure. If it happens next year, I can almost guarantee it. That Ohio State next year, or whenever this gets pushed through, will have a corporate jersey sponsor. And most likely your favorite team will have one too.
They're all going to have it.
Yeah.
And if LSU is the test case, which I don't even understand why the NCAA has any say over it, honestly.
Uniform rules is the only thing that can come to my mind.
Who's going to stop them?
But they put patches on bowl games, at the college football playoff symbol.
Do those have sponsorships on them?
Prudential or whoever the Rose Bowl, whoever the Rose Bowl was sponsored by.
The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, I believe I had that quarter zip on last night.
Rose Bowl game presented by Capital One Venture X in the 2021 Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
that's what that was.
It's a great logo. I mean, you have bowl game logos where their entire thing is just the sponsor's name.
Yeah.
Now, not the Pinstripe Bowl.
Who would you pick as a sponsor for the Buckeyes?
Who would I pick?
Can't be blue. You're not going nationwide. Okay. That would be sacrilegious.
So we want somebody in Columbus, right?
Yeah, I would think of local. But here's my question. What's even the cost? What is the cost of buying the jersey patch on an Ohio State jersey? And really,
$50 million a year.
If you're going to be doing this for football, you're probably going to be doing it for other sports.
Every sport.
Because right next to the football team would be the right on those basketball jerseys and the volleyball jerseys, which is one of the 4 sports at Ohio State that is going to get, the share of the dollars for this new house settlement. I was trying to think of corporate logos that would look not terrible. Can't use Goodyear. Wrong color combo.
You got to pop Wendy on there.
Yeah, Wendy would be a good sponsor. It's a fine sponsor.
I think she'd look all right on there. I don't know. It
would look weird.
It would look pretty weird.
It would look weird.
Actually, everything. I mean, now that you say it out
Mercedes.
loud. Ooh.
Like that, just the black Mercedes logo, that would look fine.
That'd be hot.
Yeah.
Put the little Red Bull. Now we're talking.
Yeah, but there's blue on the Red Bull.
They could take it out.
You think?
I mean, you think about all the different flavors of Red Bull they have now. They're not married to the bull looking one specific color.
Justin says on the YouTube chat, Roosters.
Oh,
Good job, Justin. We figured it out. A fun, casual
the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. They're going to go right now.
Jersey patch.
Nicole, we have an opportunity for you. I'm going to get Ross Bjork on the phone here.
Nothing is sacred in college football, but if you could go with a Roosters patch, yeah, fine.
But now even if it's Roosters, which I love.
You're talking about $50 million a year for the jersey patch number?
That would be incredible.
There's no way it can be that much per year.
This is the most lucrative. I'm not saying Wyoming's getting $50 million. I'm talking about Ohio State football.
Go Pokes.
I'm talking 15 million people watching them play Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big number.
I think it's.
What's the NFL? What does the NFL charge? Does anybody know that? Well, they're private.
Well, we weren't
entities,
prepared for this segment, obviously.
I'll try to do some research to see what a
Hit
jersey.
up the old Wikipedia again.
Well, I'm already on Galaxies. I don't want to get off the Galaxies from where we were discovering Jeremiah Smith was from a little bit earlier. Maybe I'll just open up one of my new tabs and open up 16 of them.
You never have enough tabs open over there.
I'll do my research on that during the break. And also, I'd be shocked if this Buckeye goes this late in the first round in a new mock draft I was reading today. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What does summer bring to mind? Lazy days by the pool? Hot dogs on the grill? How about large, sweaty men putting work in to defend their national title? Yes, your summer home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Barron. 66, your overnight low, with temperatures out there that make their way down through the 70s this evening. Mostly clear with light winds. We'll be into the upper 80s near 90 Thursday. Mostly sunny. Small chance for an afternoon pop-up shower or storm, but gone before red, white, and boom. Temperatures out there drop to the 60s again Thursday night. 90 for the 4th with another afternoon pop-up chance. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Barron on 97.1 The Fan.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
Go to the YouTube chat real quick. Got Austin Ward hanging out with us. One of the users said, get rid of the Buckeye leaves and sell corporate sponsorships on the leaves of the helmets. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Good joke, though.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one.
Kudos for that. I was just trying to picture it because I'm staring at Bob's jersey up there and AJ's jersey, and I'm like, all right, so you've got BC the Rooster on the right breast there.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it. It'd be like a bowl logo. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No, it wouldn't be bad. By the way, the NFL doesn't do it on their game jerseys, but they do sell their practice jerseys out.
Yeah.
So I don't have a number for NFL jerseys on what that would be. But a study estimated that an NFL jersey patch program could be worth a combined $675 million annually across the league.
Yeah, well, none of those teams are as popular as Ohio State. Sorry, it's $50 million. That I'm telling you, that's the price tag.
You're the contract negotiator.
Yeah, and I'm representing Ross Bjork in Ohio State athletics, and you need to come through me. And we're going to make this deal happen.
Top teams in the NBA, like the Lakers, are said to have around $30 million per year for jersey patches.
Well, that's just the Lakers.
Major League Baseball introduced jersey sponsors in 2013. Deals have ranged from $5 million to $17 million annually. So a jersey patch program could increase NFL sponsorship revenue by 25% for a league that prints money. Raj, if you're looking for a way to dig in the old coffers before you retire, do that.
It feels like he will, won't he? I mean, if they're the only...
football's the only sport that doesn't do it.
Because NHL they've even got the stuff on the lids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to do it. There's nothing sacred.
No, nothing sacred.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, well, it would just look like a bowl patch if you put on the Ohio State jersey. That's not the worst thing in the world. You know, they're the ones on the... You're not going to put it on the sleeve like these baseball jerseys that we're watching, that we're inexplicably watching the Nationals and Detroit Tigers for some reason.
Come on, you're not into the Tigers and Nats?
No, I'm not. But
heated rivalry.
I mean, but you just... I guess maybe it's because you and I have watched so much soccer. You just kind of forget that they're there.
I don't even think about it. No, it would look strange to see a football team wear it. That would be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, I think that we watch so much soccer that I don't even look at the jersey sponsorships anymore.
Yeah. And I think maybe you could put a small sticker on the back of a helmet. Maybe that's a compromise. The NFL probably would lead the way on that, and then college football would follow suit. But, I mean, if LSU was already saying they've got something lined up, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And it's not surprising. It can be disappointing to you at the same time if you like the sanctity of the uniform. And when it comes to college football, I think that's the one in the NFL, I guess. Football is the last hope where you're like, well, just let the gear stand by itself. And you can stick something on every other inch of the stadium and the turf, which they have done already.
Yes, they have.
It's going to be on the first down markers, and it's going to be here, there, and everywhere.
It's going to be right in your face, too, when you walk in on August 30th against Texas. It's going to be there.
And let the uniforms be. But I do think just about everywhere else, you've come to terms with it, and you just it's white noise, and you can get over it, and you understand why it's there and why it needs to be there. And if somebody wants to pony up that amount, which I'm saying is $50 million, but maybe it's not.
I don't think you're too far off. I think it's a little aggressive.
Fine. It's not. I'm not selling to you.
How do you know that?
I'm saying if somebody wants to pay to keep a logo
Here's an idea. Fish, if you're out there listening, Buckeye Show patch on the Buckeye jersey.
Wow.
How about Austin and Berm patch on the Buckeye jerseys?
That would look sick.
Those
now
colors,
I can picture it. Now it looks good right there on the AJ jersey.
The colors match. The fan logo already matches.
Wow.
Interchangeable too.
Fish.
Come on, that was a literally negative $50 million idea that I just had.
No, we'll get it all back in YouTube revenue.
Yeah, brand exposure. I think it's probably honestly somewhere between 25 and 35 million is the correct number.
I guess the Lakers do have something of a recognizable brand. They might be in the same ballpark as Ohio State football.
Yeah, they play a little more often, but they don't have the same amount of eyeballs on their actual games. If you're going total eyeballs, they do, but
yeah, over the course of the year.
Yeah, they also play 82 games in the season.
You want quality over quantity. You go to Ohio State football, baby. That's why we're paying $50 million and not a penny less.
Good for you. Good for you for sticking there. I saw this mock.
I'm a great negotiator.
You're something.
When it's not my money and not my product, I'm so good at it.
Yeah, you're something. I honestly, maybe I'll text Ross. Ross, what's the number for an Ohio State jersey patch?
He's going to say, well,
we've already had this conversation, and it's $23.36 million.
No, he's going to say, I heard conversation in the media that Ohio State would be worth $50 million.
So we're starting there.
So that's the starting point.
Actually, just start at 100. See if you can get to 50.
No, he doesn't need to do that.
That's how contract negotiations are done. So, at least I think. I was reading this.
You and me, experts at contracts.
Yeah, look at us go. I mean, how crazy is that? I was reading Matt Miller's new report, his mock draft. Has Caleb Downs going number 5 in the draft. I don't know if we're going to get to Caleb at number 5. I was watching Todd McShay in his 45-minute breakdown. I didn't watch all of it, but I popped around just to listen to what was being said about him. And Todd McShay in there, who was, great draft expert, was on your TVs for a lot of time. He shot off. I think he works for The Ringer now, does his own thing, but he still has Scouts Inc. Like, that's still his company. He does that. He was making an argument that Caleb Downs is the best player in this draft class and that he could go number 1 in the class.
I think if all things were even,
which they're not,
and they're not,
we know that,
he would be. I think he's the best player going into the draft. He continues. Best player available is Caleb Downs. But is it a need, Todd? Is it a need? Do you need to fill this? You got to go here, got to go there. It's the quarterback. Shedeur should be number 1. It's
boy, that seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's bring it back. What a fun 3 days that was. Caleb Downs is going to be the most coveted player, non-quarterback, in that draft. Now, we'll see what transpires, who has the number 1 pick, who has the number 2 pick. If they are good at quarterback, they're probably not if they're picking at the top of the draft, which will impact that. And that's why.
Do you know who Matt Miller has the Browns with the number 1 pick as? Which team?
Who he has picking number 1? No,
who he has picking number 1?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah, it's the Browns.
How could you say anyone else? You're going to be absolutely horrific.
Cade Klubnik from Clemson.
Oh, he's taking Cade number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't believe that. I wouldn't do it. I don't believe in Cade Klubnik or Drew Aller, and I definitely don't in Arch Manning. So I don't know why people keep saying just wait a year and take your quarterback then. They're going to have to prove a lot. I think all of those guys coming into this upcoming season, Arch, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, Lenore Sellers, whatever, on down the road. This is an interesting year at quarterback.
Yeah, it is, because I don't feel like there is, outside of Arch Manning and the hype train, and which we've had plenty of that. We've discussed that, and you're going to get to see again on August 30th. And it'll be a different Texas team by the end of the season. It'll be a different Ohio State team by the end of the season. But I do feel like it's a pretty open season. There's not like one, even last year, I thought was a really good parity year in college football. Indiana, boom, came out of nowhere. SMU says we're going to pay to join a conference, and they make it to a college football playoff. Like, that was pretty fantastic.
They were scared to do it for the last 30 years. Like, we got in a lot of trouble for this.
But now they're back in.
We're back in. We got the money.
We're back, baby.
We got the Cadillacs.
Yeah, to your point, I do feel like there's a handful of guys, and by handful, I mean 10 to 15 guys at the quarterback position that could really take over. As in a normal, regular quarterback year, you're looking at like 3 to 5.
Yeah, but I think it's encouraging for Caleb Downs that he already has established himself at that level. It would be very hard for I can't even think what it would take. And Caleb Downs is not going to forget how to play football at a high level. He's going to be wildly productive.
Mm-hmm.
And knock on wood for Ohio State and for Caleb, even if he got hurt, he would still be a top 5 pick. I can't see a scenario where he gets any lower than that. And there's not that much room to go higher, and it just becomes this matter of who's picking where. Do they need a quarterback? How many teams need a quarterback? That will determine where he eventually goes. But if it's not number 1 overall, anyone else who's picking is going to feel like they got a steal when Caleb is drafted in April.
It's got the Giants taking a tackle at number 2, the Titans taking a D end at number 3, the Jets taking a linebacker at number 4, and then Caleb going off the board at number 5, which is interesting because here's his breakdown of Caleb Downs. Safeties usually get pushed down the board, but Downs is different. 6 foot, 205-pounder is my number 1 overall player because of his range, versatility, and proven playmaking DNA. Downs has 4 interceptions in his 2 seasons while showing skills to play in the box or man center field as a deep safety, and he's routinely utilized as an eraser against whatever offenses do best. The Saints need good football players throughout their roster, and there's no better one in this class.
That kind of goes to what I'm talking about with need and who's going where. If everyone is, there seems to be this consensus already that Caleb Downs is not just the best defensive player available, but the best football player that is going to be available. But even with Matt Miller saying that, he still has other defensive players taken ahead of him.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you get through this process and it doesn't make any sense. And that's...
Someone get Howie Roseman on the line
Yeah.
and just say, hey, you're a good football player, we're going to draft you.
Best available.
Yeah.
I loved hearing
From a
that.
big school.
Yeah, I loved hearing that. Like Matt Patricia talking about the draft strategy that Bill Belichick and he had when they were together in New England. It was like, well, you pick at the end of the first round, you need to just take the best player available. That was what New England's philosophy was. They weren't going to be married to one position or another position.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that's fascinating to watch now that Matt Patricia doesn't have to draft, that he gets to recruit. That's spinning off in another direction. The point is, if he was in New England, he would be taking Caleb Downs with whatever pick they had.
If he was available.
And now he gets to coach him and didn't have to waste a draft pick to do it.
We're going to answer Austin's question of the day here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Concerned about your investment's rate of return? Let us show you exactly how your portfolio is performing. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donatos, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
Got Austin in here with us tonight. Murph Dog, Patrick Murphy. He is in tomorrow. What was your question of the day?
I was asked at lettermanrow.com what my confidence level was that this was the year Ryan Day would beat Michigan. Okay. Now, he has beat Michigan before, but they obviously ending the losing streak.
It's been a long while.
4-game losing streak dating back to the COVID cancellation that when Michigan was going to lose by 100.
It was a dark day.
And it is an alternate reality, an alternate history timeline.
That's where we got flipped.
Things flipped.
We went into the upside down. We inverted.
Jim Harbaugh was about to be fired after losing by 100, and instead he's like, you know what? I'm gonna bring in this sign stealer, and the rest is not so great history until Ohio State rectified it with a college football playoff national championship. But they still need to go out there and get some gold pants again. So the question was my confidence level that Ryan Day could do it. And look, we can talk about scheme. We can talk about, X's and O's. And
it was a full-on collapse last year.
It was. And again, missed field goals. Will Howard with the big hit. Certainly wasn't himself in the second half. Not meant as excuses. Those things happened. Not trying to justify it. The loss occurred. And they could have done Ohio State could have done a number of other things. The defense did its part. They miss a block on the draw. The play call there was criticized. I don't think it's about schematics, but it does.
Tackle in the backfield on the long run at the end.
All that stuff could be different. Doesn't matter. Not talking about changing the past. I'm talking about Ohio State and my confidence that they will change the future when they go up to the Big House in late November. Now, the talent is on their side. And I think even when we talk about scheme or talk about play calling, the thing that has felt like it held Ryan Day back was coaching a little bit tight, almost to the level of paranoia when it comes to Michigan.
I think that it's the perfect word to describe it.
And you can understand why, because he was caught in the middle of a spy thriller espionage situation with Connor Stallion. And I'm telling you for sure
that his brother was in charge of.
I'm talking about the Connor Stallion side. I don't know the rest. The investigative piece. That's way above my pay grade. And that's just the stuff of fan fiction on mgoblue.com. But I think when you look at this stuff, there is a level of emotional baggage that played in with the way Ryan Day has coached this game that should no longer exist moving forward. Yes, he is dealing with a losing streak to the Wolverines right now.
A bad one.
He knows that his job is to beat Michigan. That is the priority. He also knows that it's not his only job. And I think the fact that he was able to get through another emotional setback, maybe the worst one yet last year, and then the fight and everything and the flag and everything that happened afterwards, and still prove that he is one of the best coaches in the sport, to rattle off the 4 wins against the level of competition that he did. It's different. It's not the same as the rivalry. It's played differently, but you have to beat Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame all in a row. Not a lot of people can do that. And there's only 3 active coaches in college football with that national championship.
There's only been one to do what just happened.
That's right. And he's got the validation that he can do it. His bosses believe in him. The fan base that, there are people that still want to see him beat Michigan. Totally understand that. If you don't appreciate what he did and what he accomplished, I can't really help you with that. But that, I think, validation frees up Ryan Day in a way that's like, it's not the end of the world if I don't get this 3rd down. And I don't have to prove that Ohio State can run the football
on 4th and 2.
On 4th and 2 and 3rd and 2 in any short yardage situation. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case in November. I think that it sets up that he is able to coach with more freedom, more confidence, more swagger, which is the version of Ryan Day that we first saw. The one that was absolutely picking apart Dr. Blitz and forced Michigan to completely change the way it played defense because they had no idea how to cover the mesh concept.
Yeah, they were seeing ghosts at that point.
They had no idea how to handle that. But there were a lot of other, the way that Ryan Day carried himself then and the way that he got into this, like, people love when I talk about, like, psychoanalyze the emotions of Ryan Day and the vibes around the Woody. And I'm sorry, but, like, when you're asking me why is the confidence level different in this version of Ohio State and this version of Ryan Day, everything he's done since that national championship tells me that he is back to the version that got the job in the first place.
Well, you could just, I feel like, and you're around him, Awesome. You talk to him a lot. I've talked to him before. He just sounds different, you know? I mean, just totally, his voice sounds different. Like there was a 10-ton weight that was lifted off of his shoulders.
Yep.
And it had to be. Like that feeling when that ball was completed from Will Howard to Jeremiah Smith, that sealed you a national championship. And when that field goal ultimately went through, that the weight of an entire city, an entire state was lifted off of you. Because if you go back, and you and I did a lot of shows between the time where Ohio State played against Tennessee, the vitriol around that program, we were having conversations. Would this be better for Ohio State to play on the road?
Yep.
Would it be better for them to play in Neyland? Because what are they going to walk into? If Tennessee gets up to a 7-0 lead and that stadium gets nervous, the tide can turn. The Gladiators aren't going to win their freedom. Like, the fan revolt is going to start. And then you get that vindication on that 4-game run. I feel like that does. It has to change you. Like your coaching DNA. Schleggs talks about it all the time. Whether you listen to it on the morning show when he's on, or whether you listen to it on the Bobby Carpenter show, or wherever he's talking. That winning a national championship, this is his words, not mine, and I think it goes back to Urban, that it is a blood transfusion, that it changes you. And I think the way that Ryan Day will coach in the future will more echo the way that we saw in that playoff run, where that team was the best team, hands down, in college football, than what happened in the last Saturday in November last year.
But here's the thing about Ryan Day is that he doesn't need the blood transfusion for every other game on the calendar.
Yeah.
He's already winning 90% of the games. People would point to his record in the top 10 games. Guess what? They're hard to win. Everybody loses them. Even Nick Saban lost them. He's
up until the Michigan game last year, I believe that they had not lost to an unranked opponent. Is that correct?
It's hard to do. And I get this a lot where it's like, well, you know, Urban treated the game as seriously as it could possibly be. Life and death, 4th and inches every day.
Made people do push-ups in the Woody for wearing blue.
And that worked. He has a perfect record and, you know, a restaurant that's got the 7-0 plastered all over it in Bridge Park. But sometimes that mentality came at the expense of not being ready for the unranked opponents. Those lapses haven't happened for Ryan Day. And I'm not comparing to say one is better than the other, or you should take this one over that one. They both have a national championship. They are both two of the most successful people to ever do it. And their job is really, really hard. But my point is, Ryan Day doesn't have to change his approach or his philosophy or his roster building or the play calling for all these other games because he's already managing that at the level of expectations. It's the one where he's fallen short of the standard that everybody holds him to, winning the rivalry. So I'm not making excuses for that. He knows it better than anybody. He lives it. His family lives it. We've all seen it and the toll that it takes when he comes up short. But he has now shown that there can be life on the other side if you lose, and I think that can be freeing. I'm not saying that he will accept it if they lose in the Big House, because this year you have a little bit slightly different situation where if Ohio State doesn't win the national championship, where we always talk natty or bust and standard is the standard for this program, well, you just won it. It's incredibly hard to go back-to-back. You might get a pass if you don't win the national championship. The conversation and the difficulty for him if they don't win in the Big House, you can almost like separate that out as its own season this year.
It is its own season.
And more so this year than maybe any other year. Can you say that that's actually true? And I'm not saying that to heap more pressure on it or to say that, well, the last year would be totally discounted or they're going to take the trophy away from him. but he can operate from a situation where it is not a life and death matter for his family.
Yeah.
And if he gets to go out there and coach with that freedom and that knowledge and that comfort, we've seen him at his best.
Well,
We've seen him
relying on your coaches to do what they do, because that's as good as an Ohio State coach team as you'll see from last year.
And that was the befuddling part for me. This was the guy at the start of his career taking deep shots on 4th and 2 in college football playoff semifinal games, throwing the football down the field. And Dabo's like, you're not supposed to do that.
That goes against every...
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, no, that's illegal.
You can't skip lunch. I don't think you can do that. And that's the version that, like, for whatever reason, disappeared during this stretch of the losing streak. And I think that he's rediscovered that part. And I'm talking, that's experiences that are away from football, not just Tonight Show, coaches, clinics, whatever. My experience, other people's experience, that doesn't matter. I think there's 100 people that would say, this is like 35-year-old Ryan Day. He's got that rediscovered. And if it's a blood transfusion or however you want to look at it, that's why I think the difference comes in late November, because he's going to have the more talented team. And if he turns them loose, and he turns himself loose, and he turns Brian Hartline loose, and he turns Matt Patricia loose, I don't see how they can lose that game.
Jeremiah Smith loose?
Well, maybe him. He's okay.
Caleb Downs loose? Those guys, they're going to be pretty good.
Sonny saw, he's lived it.
Yep. Yes,
that man's gonna leave everything on the field in November. Like those guys, I think that's interesting too, Beamer. I know we got to get out, but when you're talking about finding that motivation for this team and why there's not complacency, those guys have championship rings that you named, Caleb, Jeremiah, Sonny, on down the list. They still don't have the gold pants. No. So that I think that's important.
Lathan, Jack, JT, those guys will never get
that chance again. Why is Jeremiah, go back to the JJ hour, why is he talking about that? That's a thing on his bucket list.
Yeah.
And these guys, these high achievers, they're not going to leave any stone unturned to mark off everything that they're asked to do.
Hashtag Buckeyes next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes!
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway. Refresh your fuel tank, refresh your U-tank with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. And refresh the vibe for any drive. Refresh at Speedway with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks with Speedy Rewards, and try exclusive Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl flavor for a limited time only. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, You want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
They were national champs on the football field, but how far can they hit us softball? Find out at the Monogram Homes Cardale Jones Charity Softball Game.
Presented by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Saturday, July 19th at Huntington Park.
Bring the whole family and watch Team Cardale battle Team Braxton Miller. Don't miss the Home Run Derby and see stars like Ted Ginn Jr. and Maurice Clarett. Get your tickets at 971thefan.com. Do it now.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Well, baseball update for you. We'll get to Boston coming up, top of the hour. The Red Sox won. Reds nothing. Top of the third inning.
Beantown.
Reds looking to avoid the sweep
of the pinstripes.
Who said that? What an idiot that guy must be.
I think it's my favorite thing that I've ever heard on the radio.
It was dumb. You can give me credit for that.
No, I loved it.
My brain just wasn't working. Had a meltdown, man. I have, everybody has a mind freeze from time to time.
Yeah. I have had 10 during this show.
I have too, actually. But I feel better.
Yeah.
Once it's out of you, a little public shaming, public embarrassment. What's better than that?
Everybody needs it every now and then.
Yeah, everybody needs to get humbled. And everybody needs a lesson that sometimes the Pinstripe Bowl is not played at Fenway Park.
Sometimes those reminders are more they have more necessity for others than for you.
Like when I learned that FDR was a 4-time president. I learned that live on air once.
We're all learning.
Yeah. I mean, I think I learned it at some point. And then I had forgot it, and then I relearned it. And we all got to experience those fun times together.
Yeah. If you can't laugh, what are we here for?
Then you'll cry.
I don't want to cry.
No, nobody wants to cry.
I did enough of that.
So the Guardians also in Wrigley tonight. That game starts around 8:05, but we will be going to Boston after this. A little soccer update for you, too. Women's team and men's team of the National Varieties in action this evening. Women's friendly against Canada on Canada Day, too, by the way. Nothing in that game. 12 minutes gone. U.S. men's national team in the semifinals of the Gold Cup. 2-0 up, nearing halftime against Guatemala. Diego Luna with a brace.
Second goal, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. A couple of scissors in there. Goes to the right, feints the keeper, and then back to the left.
First one, nice little build-up, but it's a tap-in rebound.
It was a poacher's goal.
Yeah, poacher's goal. And then he said, all right, if you're gonna mock my first goal, watch this. And I've watched it 10 times already.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Hopefully there's more to come from both squads tonight.
Yeah, maybe don't sweat out this one against Guatemala the way that you did on Sunday.
Or the way that Canada sweated it out against Guatemala, because that ended their tournament.
Yeah. Well, we don't want that.
before we get out of here today, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. Ohio State is scheduled to play at Texas in 2026, at Alabama in 2028, and at Georgia in 2030 in football in the upcoming seasons. If you could attend only one of those games free of admission, I'm guessing in this question that travel is also provided for you. Which game would you choose? Texas, Bama, Georgia.
Saucy.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a. I've been to Austin before. I have not taken in a game at Texas's stadium. I've not taken a game in at Bama's or Georgia's stadium. I have been to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I have not been to Athens, Georgia.
Well, here's how I would answer it, because I've been to all three of those places to cover games, watch games. If you have the travel included and they actually get you in the city,
yeah,
that's very different, because every time that I was covering Tennessee and Alabama, you're staying in Birmingham and then driving in. And there's
go to Nick's and the Sticks.
Yeah, Birmingham's fine.
Yeah.
But
Dreamland Barbecue, is that in Birmingham?
Yeah. I can't believe everyone kept saying you got to go to Dreamland.
That's what they told me, and I came away from it saying that Ray Ray's is better. Ray Ray's is better.
I went and I'm like, where are the ribs that everyone was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what these are. I can't be doing that.
You ever had Hank's Barbecue here in Columbus?
No.
Oh man, let me
more.
tell you, it's fantastic. Them and Ray Ray's.
Okay.
Depending on what you like, jerk chicken sandwich from Ray Ray's is like an all-time sandwich in Columbus. When you get the brisket that is like dynamite, like their best days brisket at Hank's, it is world class.
Okay.
World class good.
All right. Well,
yeah, but Dreamland Barbecue, very disappointing.
I would say it sucked. I don't know why it has the reputation that it does. I did not enjoy it. And nobody I was there with did either. So maybe it was a bad day, but yeah. Pass on that from me. I'm not going back.
All right, so you're done. Tuscaloosa's
But
out.
anyway, the point is, if you have to go and you have to stay in Birmingham, well, that changes your whole experience.
No, I'm giving you PJ, private jet. You're flying into wherever the local airport is. You're staying in downtown Austin. You're staying right like on the nicest hotel room in Athens or nicest hotel room in Tuscaloosa.
Athens, 100%.
Yeah?
Every time.
Wow, really?
There's no question. And I love Texas, and I'm there all the time. Folks are 45 minutes away.
Your name is Austin. They play in Austin.
Yeah. Every time I go down there's a bunch of businesses that'll give me a free T-shirt because that's my name. So I'm certainly, I would tend to bias towards Austin, Texas.
Keep Austin weird.
And believe me, brother, it's easy said and done. But look, Athens is I think, in terms of pure college towns,
yeah,
you're not going to find better than Athens.
Okay.
It's off the charts. Now, same issue arises.
Well, Atlanta
is
a monster.
And you have to stay there every time I covered a game. You're like in Gwinnett County. You're northwest or northeast Atlanta trying to get in there and deal with the traffic. Though that's the same problem for a lot of these SEC schools. Now, if money is no expense and you can pay the 3-night minimums at $800 a night, by all means, knock yourself out. It's going to be a great time in Tuscaloosa, T-Town. It's going to be even better if you go to Athens. Austin, you can kind of do more normally because it's like Columbus. They're basically sister cities.
You have no other reason other than if you're visiting, going to a college football game. At least I don't, unless you have family down there, maybe, to go to Tuscaloosa or Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, you can go visit it in the summer and they're like, well, I don't know what the fuss is about.
Yeah. We need to get Nicole in here to convince us why we should go to Georgia, since she went to Georgia.
I think Austin is already
I'm going to speak for Nicole right now. Georgia is awesome. It is a great college town. The first time I was there was when I was going to school at Tennessee during my one exchange year.
Mm-hmm.
So I went, not covering the game. I went to the game and I was wearing orange and sitting in the stands, and Tennessee upsets Georgia. And even after the game, there were co-eds coming up to me, getting on all fours and barking at me after they lost. And I'm like, this is great.
This is the world's greatest experience.
I came from Wyoming where it's like we could get 10,000 people to go watch the Air Force game. And Georgia just lost one of the most important games of their Like recent 20 years, David Pollock, David Green, they choke it away. Doesn't matter. Like, girl, what are you doing later?
Are you trying to be Smokey? Yeah. Or are you trying to be Uga?
That was Uga. Man. They weren't celebrating. They were angry, and that's how they let out their anger. just barking at me. I'm glad I wore orange. It's a great experience.
Best. You know what? I'm going to save that for tomorrow. But I once went to a game in the student section in Bloomington when they had 20,000 people in there and got a battery thrown in my head. So that was my experience with the
I'm pretty surprised that I got out of there
alive
in one piece.
All of your flanges attached.
That was the worst thing that happened, which was also the best thing.
Commish, I had a great time with you this week. Let's do it again in the future, and I will see you bright and early on Saturday for the classic.
I can't wait. I'll be in a better mood for the next Buckeye shows.
Murph is in with us tomorrow. Austin is back on Monday. Everybody have an awesome night. Reds baseball is up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Limit 10. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining